It's 1:55 a.m. in a Cairo hotel room. Lord Carnarvon, the wealthy British aristocrat who funded the search for King Tut, is shivering with a violent fever. As his breathing stops, his story begins a terrifying new chapter. At the exact second his heart stops, the entire city of Cairo shuts down. An unexplained electrical blackout plunges every street into total darkness. Thousands of miles away in England, the Lord's beloved pet dog sullenly howls into the night and drops dead at the same moment. These events weren't random coincidences. Only months before, the Lord had celebrated the opening of a sealed 3,000-year-old Egyptian tomb, the long-lost resting place of a pharaoh. Over the next 6 years, 21 more people directly or indirectly connected to that discovery would suffer horrific, sudden deaths. Curious, slightly skeptical tone. This casualty list looked like undeniable proof of an ancient supernatural hex. But as we look past the headlines, we find a reality that is far more grounded and far more dangerous than magic. In November 1922, Howard Carter's team finally unearthed the tomb in the Valley of the Kings. This vast, desolate landscape had hidden the secret for over 30 centuries. This wasn't a typical find. Unlike other tombs in the valley that had been picked clean by grave robbers ages ago, this one was completely untouched, its royal seals still intact. The first sign of trouble was a strange omen. Carter's pet canary was swallowed whole by a king cobra that had somehow entered its cage. Local workers were instantly paralyzed with fear. For them, the cobra was the ultimate emblem of Egyptian royalty, taking vengeance on the weakest intruder. The human victims soon followed. Lord Carnarvon died after a minor mosquito bite became severely infected while he was shaving, leading to rapid systemic blood poisoning. The terror grew during the mummy's autopsy, when doctors found a distinct physical wound on the pharaoh's cheek. It matched the exact location of Carnarvon's fatal bite. Baffling deaths continued to mount. An American financier died of fever the day after his visit. A radiologist died from an undiagnosable illness after x-raying the mummy. Then, a secretary's sudden death drove his 78-year-old father to jump from a London window. Global newspapers printed every subsequent death, regardless of age or previous health, as another victim of the pharaoh. This persistent coverage sold millions of papers, convincing a terrified public that a hex was real, leaving scientists to hunt for a more rational explanation. To find the truth, we have to look past mystical curses and into the air of the burial chamber itself. Modern pathology has finally identified the true invisible killer, Aspergillus niger, a highly toxic and resilient ancient fungus. This pathogen survived in the pitch-black, sealed environment by feeding on mummies and tomb offerings, remaining dormant for 3 millennia. When the tomb was breached, the archaeologists inhaled these prehistoric spores. They quickly multiply in the lungs, triggering severe respiratory inflammation and crashing the host's immune system. In 1923, before the discovery of penicillin, these spores were lethal. Combining an ancient fungal pathogen with a minor infection transformed a treatable cough or a mosquito bite into a death sentence. The final pillar of the mystery was the infamous written warning supposedly carved into the tomb door, promising death on swift wings. But that inscription never existed. It was entirely fabricated by an amateur reporter who watched a security guard offer a silent, knowing smirk and decided to invent the legend the world wanted to hear. Media reports depicted a powerful, vengeful god king, but the boy inside the gold sarcophagus told a far more tragic story. This is a 3D CT scan of the mummy, showing the severe bone disorders that plagued the teenage king. Tutankhamun was a sickly teenager, suffering from malaria, Kohler's bone disease, and a severe clubfoot caused by generations of royal inbreeding. Ancient biological hazards, mixed with a ruthless 20th century media panic, had turned a sequence of tragic but explainable medical events into a global legend. If the curse were real, its primary target should have been Howard Carter. He was the one who breached the seal and physically unwrapped the mummy, yet he lived for another 16 years. For the ancient Egyptians, true death only occurs when the living world stops speaking your name. Because Tutankhamun was seen as unimportant, his successors chiseled his name off monuments and tried to erase him from history. He remained a ghost for 3,000 years, a moment of wonder. But through a biological hazard, a media frenzy, and a fabricated curse, he finally achieved the ultimate Egyptian dream. The world will never forget his name. He is immortal.